Welcome to Put the Popcorn Down. My name's John Cosell. Today, with my first guest joining me is Jamie Backhughes. He's my training partner and a good friend. We've worked on a door together for many, many years.
Should we have lighted that Zupa now?
It's my aim to put a comedy podcast out there and see if you guys find it funny. Hopefully you will. The reason it's called Put the Popcorn Down is because I'm fed up with people sitting there watching the TV, watching their programmes, getting programmed. Stop watching this shit on the TV, put their virtual reality headsets down for 2 seconds and start waking up. Eh?
You can get them in pussy.
You can, yeah. Everyone that wants to play virtual reality, in my mind, is a pussy. What I want to do is make sure, it's all misdirection. All the time you're staring at your phone, all the time you're sitting there. Like years ago, people would sit there and the fire would be your focal point in your living room. So the fire is your focal point, and you watch anyone with a fire, they just zone into it and just go a bit primal. Over the fire, it's a primal fire, good. And they sit there and they just sit there chilling out, watching the fire all night long. But what they've done is they've replaced.
They used to cook popcorn on it.
And you can cook popcorn on it, and this is exactly where I'm going. They didn't even cook the popcorn on there. They got up to the supermarket for the popcorn, smashed the life out the fireplace, and bang, a massive 47-inch TV, flat screen, HD, 4K ready. That is blasting your fucking grill full of shit every single time that you switch it on. Like when you turn the TV on in the morning and it's Lorraine followed by Jeremy Kyle, but he's been axed because someone died. Then after Jeremy Kyle, it's this morning, and it's like it's the phone-in competition. It's the phone-in where people are like, oh, my husband's hasn't been home for 3 days and he smells like women's perfume. What should I do? And like Deirdre's on there going, fucking ditch that motherfucker, sister. And then it's all about how everyone's cheating on each other and it's shit. And then it's Loose Women, right, where they just rabbit on for a couple of hours. Then it's programmes like Doctors. So there's more death and problems and disasters. Then it's EastEnders, someone's been shot. Then it's Gogglebox, where you get to zone out completely and watch someone else watching TV. And then after Gogglebox, you got to get your slave bot brain in bed because you've got to be up at the crack of dawn in order to do your slave job, to then come back in front of the TV and be filled with more shit so you can go to work the next day and talk shit about all the shit that you've been watching the previous night. The reason we're calling it Put the Popcorn Down is because we want people to wake up. I want to enlighten people. I want to inspire you to go out, get yourselves fit in the gym, and get yourself healthy. Put the virtual reality down for a second, because it's shit and you don't need it in your life. You don't need video games to pretend you're some badass when you're not. Stop that right now. Just be who you are. Enjoy being who you are. And that's what we're here to talk about. That's where we're going with this. So, as I said, I've got my training partner Jay. We just smashed out an massive set of chest, didn't we, Jay?
We certainly did, John. It was delightful, mate. Delightful.
Absolutely. We started off with dumbbells, 20s, 30s, and then we went in with the 60s. Probably like 65s, I reckon, in there. So we trained at Forest Gym in the southeast of England. It's a little sweatbox gym in the middle of nowhere. It's literally in the woods. It's a massive log cabin, and it's a bodybuilding gym. It's just full of everything you need to get enormous, and that's what we want to be doing. So that's where we train. I'm just going off on a mad one now. So Jay, I've got you on the show. This is, by the way, Jay. I've worked on the door with Jay for about 10 years, and we've got up to some absolute mischief together. So I'm just trying to work out how PG this podcast's going to be as to how much we can go into it. But I've worked for Jay with Jay for a long time, and we've managed to get ourselves sacked from probably most venues in the southeast of England. We've gone from perfectly happy to sacked within seconds, haven't we, Jay?
Fucking absolutely.
We've been sacked by everyone. We've been working on a door. We used to work at Lingfield Racecourse, which was hilarious, which was loads of fun. Pingfield. Oops. Edit. Underarm. But yeah, no,
stay in school, kids.
Stay in school, guys. Don't do drugs. Now we've had a lot of fun. We've had a lot of fun working the doors together. We trained together. He's one of my closest friends, so I'm happy to have him as my first guest on the show. When I first started training with Jay, how much do you reckon you weighed, Jay?
About 8 stone, John.
8 stone plus 20. Yeah.
And now I'm 30.
Yeah. But it's all fucking muscle this time. And I see him when we was working in Brighton. I said, have you started training yet, Jay? He was like, nah, fucking hell. Whilst he was eating a fucking massive family bumper bag of Monster Munch and drinking about 60 fucking fake balls. Drinking the fake balls like they're going out of business. Like there's a zombie apocalypse and he's got to fucking put an end to all the fake balls. Yeah, I forget where I was going with this. Where was I going with this?
You was in Brighton, mate. Enjoying it.
Yeah, so we was working in Brighton, and I said to Jay, he had the Monster Munch on the go, like I said, and the massive thing of fake balls. And I said, have you started training yet? And he goes, nah, of course I haven't, bruv. You know me, mate. I said, come on, mate, come up for us, Jim, and we'll train properly, because I was training with another mate.
He was there in the room with
right,
you, mate.
Yeah.
Spot on,
the
mate.
perfect impression. Hello, mate. Yes. Hello, mate. Yes.
Hello, mate. Yes.
So, no, we started training together, and he did the first week literally just like anyone else in the gym. Like, he's a big dude, he's like a 24, 25 stone geezer, 6 foot plus, been on the door for 20 odd years, quite up, but we're quite up in the martial arts, and you couldn't press like 5 kilo aside. Which is like pound for pound the world's weakest geezer. But we've changed that now. He's pound for pound one of the world's strongest geezers, right? And he's called Jamie Backhuge. That's attributed to his enormous, great big barn door back that he's packing under that high vis right now.
I told you to call me Dirk Squat Thrust.
Oh yeah, Dirk Squat Thrust. He wants a gimmick name for this podcast because he's too scared for it going out on air. But we'll have to see how the edit goes and as to where we're going. But I think so far we're good.
He might even put his fucking address in the book.
Yeah, in regards to putting the popcorn down, Jamie, I'm just like this whole gaming thing. Like, I dug the PlayStation out, the PlayStation 1, right? I dug bruv, Jamie is playing Angry Crush on the phone. He's obviously completely zoned out.
Well, you gave me the fucking popcorn. What do you want?
Yes, look, see, this is a perfect example of Jamie not putting the popcorn down. Now, if Jamie put the popcorn down, listen to what I'm saying, Jamie would be a more enlightened individual right now for that. Now, I'm telling you now, he's spent countless hours on Angry Birds, Candy Birds, whatever it's called, and he sits there and he fucking plays them. Like, how many levels? He's done about 3 minutes. One time, he was doing painting by numbers on your phone. Painting by numbers on your phone. Can you believe that? So he zoomed in, he zoomed right in, and he's doing painting by numbers like this. And I said, what are you drawing? He's like, I'm not showing you yet. So come on, just show me what it is. Is it the Mona Lisa or something like? And he's like, no. And he zooms out. It's Greenwich Palace foreshore or something. He's done from the 18th century on ice or whatever it was. Some Georgian fucking biscuit tin picturesque scene that he's done with about 1 million different fucking numbers, all different colours. My God, this is the thing. We put the popcorn down. The phones are designed for you to stare at them, walk around, and people just staring at their phone.
It's better than doing drugs, isn't it?
No.
That's all I'm saying.
Definitely not.
Definitely.
Drugs are much better.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I forgot about that.
We'll edit that bit out.
Oh.
But I digress. So yeah, that's what I'm talking about. We put the popcorn down. I'm not really. I like dug the PS1 out, and I said to my mate, I was like, look how crap the graphics are. But that's what a video game should look like. It should look crap. It shouldn't look like real life, because all the time it's looking like real life. It's tricking you to believe what you're seeing is real. You're seeing real violence. You're taking that violence in, and it's increasing your stress hormones, which are making you feel shit. So like, there's no way a 9-year-old should be exposed to being able to blast a prostitute's head off in the middle of the street and then rob her wallet and then run off and then go and do a bank job, and then go to prison and then just get 5 police stars whilst they're just entering cheat codes in.
You need to wait till you're 18 for that. Then.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Fuck it. You can't have kids doing that.
But yeah, that's where we're at. With the games, I'm not a massive gamer. Like, I have to play it casually. My missus is like, I bought her the SNES for Christmas. Remember the SNES? But it's the SNES Classic where you get all the old games on it. And I was all down for that. I was all down for the old games for a bit of fun, because they're old video games. It's like competition. And it's all Mario and like Zelda and stuff like that, where you're just a happy little character. Although Zelda's like trying to defeat evil, like whatever the message is with that, I'm not quite sure. With the Zelda thing, Mrs. completed it, and she even killed that fucking massive prick at the end of it. I forget his name. Do you know the one I'm about?
No.
Ganon or something.
The big pig thing.
The big massive Ganon thing.
I don't know what that is.
He's got like fucking maces flying out of his head and there's balls and chains everywhere. But she defeated that prick, so I'm quite proud of her. Big shout out to you, baby. Yeah.
You get a shout out for that shit.
Yeah.
I thought you didn't like games.
I don't know.
Yeah. So I mean, it's his old lady, isn't it?
Yeah. No. If I went back, if I got home and she was on the VR, mate, just smashing zombies up in the living room, I'd tell her, I'd take the mask off. I'd say, right, put the popcorn down and reverse.
About
Stop doing
turn,
what you're
woman.
doing. About turn, stop doing what you're doing. Put the popcorn down.
Go and do me some dinner. If you've got all that energy to be killing them fucking zombies, I want something more than fish fingers, chips and beans.
To be fair, man, she's Greek. She does me like lamb, and we had some massive beef fucking joint at the weekend, which was delicious.
Because having one a minute ago.
Not a beef one. Oh, you really like for that one, Joe.
Oh, thank you very much.
But yeah, they're just easy computer games that you can play. But now there's like, you shouldn't be able to be in a real city and just do what you want with guns and stuff, because like they're going, is that inciting violence? Well,
Yeah, there has to be laws against that sort of shit.
yeah, absolutely. You shouldn't be exposed to that sort of violence. And the reason is, Jay, is because they want you to be exposed to that.
Fucking why they do, mate?
You know, they want you to be exposed to it because they want you to be a piece of shit violent person, or at least in a state of fear that you're going to have to be violent at some point.
Well, it fucking suits their ends, mate, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
Watch out for a nice false flag incident over Iran real soon.
yeah. But it's like when we're on the door and people were giving it to us, and they're giving it all the large, right up to the point where you are actually serious now, and they're not with their mates and they're alone, and then the real personality comes out. And that's the sort of person that's running around on a video game just smashing the life out of everyone. It's the same person that's melting off when I'm sticking it on them for being a dickhead in the club, basically. So I'm not really for that, you know, all this sort of game and stuff, each their own and whatever, but I just think it's another form of programming, do you know what I mean? Where it's like a film where, it's like, Jay, like a film, like a horror film generally has those intense bits, but the plot is, the film has already been set and the film has already been done, so you can't change the plot, right? But you can watch the violence, yeah?
Yeah.
So you can watch the violence, but you don't get to choose the violence. You get to watch the violence. But with these video games, you get to choose the violence as well as watch it.
Yeah.
So you can be as
are the
merciless, or
violence,
you can
aren't
be as, like, there's no one plays Grand Theft Auto and just drives at the speed limit and chills out. Doesn't do any of the missions, just irons their clothes from once in a while, goes up the gym. Do you know what I mean? And gives to charity. There is no them games. Do you know what I mean? It's all blast everyone's face off because everyone hates you and everyone's a gangman and blah blah blah. Next thing you know, you start off on a bike, and then the next thing you know, you've got some mansion because you just smashed some drug lord's face in all his kids.
Yeah, but it'd be a really dull fucking game if you just sort of got in your car and drove around within the...
Yeah, but this is the thing, Jay. If you're not going to do that in real life, right? If you're not a fucking bad man cowboy western guy that's going to run around and actually kill everyone, don't do it on a video game. Do you see what I'm saying? So, if all you're going to do in real life is drive at the speed limit and be a bitch in real life because you're absolute just a nobody, right? Then do that on the game. That's what I'm saying. Don't pretend you're something you're not. I don't like that. I don't like, you know what I mean? I know it's escapism. Everyone gets to be violent, but it's funny because it just basically the definition of that is just you're a passive aggressive pussy. When I'm talking putting the popcorn down, I'm saying you're sat there in front of your TV, just absolutely demolishing your popcorn, gormless, just staring at your box whilst it's showing you CGI images from space that just aren't real, or they're talking about, you know, all these mass shootings and all this different stuff that's attributed to guns and stuff. I know you got a stance on the mass shooting thing, didn't you, Joe?
Yeah.
About the stages and like the who was it? It was
there, mate.
yeah, and there's crisis actors. I mean, I'm
shit.
no expert, but it's pretty plain to see. There's some amazing stuff, you know, like, you know, and it's just like, for instance, the moon landings, Jay. Not going too deep on that, but the moon landing's like, you know, I think if you believe, because it's just so evil, because I don't personally believe you've been to the moon. I mean, come on, mate, you're going to get there, Ronald Reagan calls up and goes, guys, are you on the moon? And you go, yeah, we're on the moon, guys, yeah, no worries, we're just heading back now. Just had a game of golf, put a flag down. And that's it, and they're fucking off, they fuck in their spaceship and come back to Earth.
Oh, wasn't it?
It wasn't Ronald Reagan.
Wasn't it Nixon?
Was it Nixon?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, was it? Yeah, it was Nixon, yeah. Okay, sorry, pardon me.
Sure.
Yeah, no, it was.
JFK set up.
No, JFK did it, and he did the speech going, today we are gonna go on the moon. And then...
It doesn't matter who it was, because it didn't fucking happen, did it?
No, it didn't. Absolutely didn't fucking happen. So it doesn't matter what president answered the phone. To be honest with you, on that landline call that they made up to the fucking
You reckon
moon.
someone was on the other end of the phone call?
Yeah, that moon, that phone line that goes straight through the fucking Van Halen belt, straight into a spaceman's ear. All right, bro.
When was it? The 60s? What were they using? Fucking tin cans attached with string.
Yeah, like oh yeah,
238,000
238,000 miles of fucking string, and a tin can attached to Neil Armstrong's face. If it all goes wrong, just pull me down. Oh,
radiation belt.
yeah, straight through the radiation belt because we got through it all right, so we should be right on the
We'll
way
go
back.
through it again.
Yeah.
We'll go through that radiation belt twice.
So all that stuff, it's like that's a pretty big thing to lie about. If you're going to lie to the world
work in
that are
space.
like
Jets
that's
work
like
in space.
no, of course not. It's just a vacuum, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? You're fucking flying around in that. Like, surely we learned from that, like the vacuum thing where things fall out through a vacuum still. So why are you floating around in space like some acid trip? It's bullshit. There's no way you went up there, landed successfully on the moon, got out, had a game of golf, said some profound things. One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
You know when David Attenborough or whatever goes out to like a tribe or something?
Yep.
Could you imagine if they went there somewhere where no one's ever been before, just discovered this new place and then started playing golf?
Yeah, no, it's just wrong, isn't it? Yeah, they've just with the moon landings, they've lied to us about mankind's greatest achievement. That's an enormous lie.
Yeah.
That's a massive lie. You know, like teaching kids in school that we've all been to the moon and that sort of stuff, when we clearly haven't. It's just obvious, and it's just meant, you know, if you're smart, you'll find it. But, and this is what I'm talking about, putting the popcorn down. I'm not trying to, don't have to think we didn't go to the moon. If like, I would love to, I'm not trying to put piss on mankind's greatest achievement. I'm just saying that if we did, I would love to think we went to the moon. But I would love to think, yeah, we've been to the moon. That'd be amazing, wouldn't it? Like if we genuinely did, I'd be up for that because I'm up for mankind taking leaps forward and doing that. But we didn't, so that's a shame. I don't think we did anyway. But I'm not saying that, you know, if it makes you more happy to believe that it landed then on the moon, then happy days. Just go with that. But I'm choosing to put the popcorn down on that one.
But I mean, if you honestly believe we landed on the moon, then you believe that temperature's hot enough to vaporise aeroplanes that don't blow up Syrian passports.
Absolutely, I'm going to put the popcorn down on that one as well. So, because this is what I'm saying, this is another thing. If you can lie about mankind's greatest achievement, you can lie about
Killing 3,000 of your own citizens.
yeah, in an enormous, great big planned explosion. People said they didn't even see planes. Like I work with steel, right? I work with steel. There is no way you can vaporise an engine block for a plane
No,
like it never existed. But
Yeah.
the geezer who did its passport is on the lawn. Like, come on, mate. And like the Pentagon, oh god damn, they've gone and fucking blown up the Pentagon. Shit. But really, what's happened is they've just set a little explosion off, burnt a load of paper that they wanted to get rid of anyway, and then put a bit of plane debris every now and then. I don't even know if they did that. I don't think they
both
even
of those with the Pentagon. There was a news reporter that reported there was no pieces of plane debris
There you
anywhere
go.
near the building.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just
It's all
after it
contradicts.
happened with the Pentagon.
Yeah, like in 100 years' time in the history books, it'll just go, yeah, that was Bin Laden and Al Qaeda, and everyone will no one will care because it's old history, and no one that they know, you know, emotionally were affected by it. So it just goes down in old history because we're all dead, gone, long gone, dead and buried, and the next generation of kids just have to pass a test about who flew the planes into the Twin Towers, and that test, the correct answer is Al Qaeda did it. During in the 21st century, my God, in 2001, all those years ago, when things were just in HD, fuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah, when we were just discovering VR.
Fucking HD, like HD TV. I mean, what do I like to watch?
Whatever your missus tells you.
Do you know what? We just Yeah.
Yeah.
And the problem is she hates it because I just sit there ripping every program apart with all.
Let me,
I can spot the agendas off a
See if I
mile
can
away.
guess a couple of them in the evening. It's got to be sort of Emmerdale, Coronation Street,
No.
EastEnders.
She watches
Don't you lie,
EastEnders. She watches EastEnders.
Hollyoaks, whatever other fucking shite there is.
Nah.
Britain's Got Talent.
That's the thing with the soap operas. Why not have a soap opera where everyone's mad happy? Everyone's just fucking depressed with life, aren't they, on that? And they're just like trying to pass off every agenda.
But they do though. It's called Neighbours.
Yeah. Hello, mate. Fucking hell, great fucking time. Anyway, next time on Neighbours, someone else is fucking happy too.
My old lady's always watching that fucking Great British Bake Off.
Oh, fuck off with Mary
this
Berry and her
fucking
fucking
MasterChef.
diabetic,
Oh,
little fat
God.
diabetic grey son.
Don't
Whatever his name
Don't,
is.
mate.
Paul.
sit there watching TV, fucking starving with nothing to eat in here.
Paul Hollywood. That Paul Hollywood. That sounds like the shittest
sounds
wrestling
like
gimmick
bit-
ever. Paul
really
Hollywood.
bitter,
What's
that.
your special move? Oh, what's that? Eating a kilo of butter.
Is it his sparkling blue eyes?
Fucking
that you know
hell.
about him, John?
Yeah, everyone likes Paul Hollywood. We was working, there's a place where we was working, and there's this dude that used to come in, look just like a fucking Paul Hollywood, but about 6'9", big fat bastard with a goatee beard and the grey hair. It's Paul
Did look a lot
Hollywood.
like Paul Hollywood.
He did, didn't he? And he was a turnip.
He was a turnip.
He was thick. But anyway, back to Paul Hollywood and the Great British Ball Bags. It's I don't like it, man. Sitting there like, oh, you know, and every time they taste something, Mary Berry goes, oh, well, you know, it just needs.
Oh, that tastes like shit.
Yeah. imagine that. Oh, that's fucking load. You fucked that up. That's a load of old shit. You need 6 more kilos of butter, 6 more kilos of sugar. Stir it together, you lazy cunt. Put a cake together now.
Oh, sorry, Mary.
Sorry. Oh man, but yeah, no, the Bake Off's not for me. Don't like that.
Would you fuck Prue Leaf though?
Who? Sounds like a tea bag. Sounds like a tea bag. What other programmes don't I like? There's loads of them, mate.
What
Loads
ones
of
do
them.
you watch?
What ones do you like?
Oh, mate.
There's got
What's that one?
Come on, you don't be embarrassed.
Blackadder.
Blackadder.
Oh, you don't see Blackadder.
I do like my Blackadder. Blackadder's.
It's a bit rude.
We'll edit this bit out. This
Hello.
bit could be quite incriminating. Jamie's at the shoot. He's going to have to go home and scrub that enormous great big back of his with a big sponge. So he's made a move, and I've decided to record the rest of this episode outside of the gym. One giant leap for man, one great big fucking enormous leap for our imagination. But yeah, I mean, you follow and you actually don't compartmentalise this. Think about it. I mean, we are talking enormous amounts of films that aren't even and TV shows. Let's think about the obvious ones. Apollo 13, Gravity with who was in Gravity? George Clooney. Yeah, George Clooney. So you got Apollo 13, Gravity, Captain Planet. Remember that? The Clangers, Doctor Who, Men in Black, Red Dwarf. I love Red Dwarf, but Red Dwarf's in there. Independence Day, Button Moon, Avatar, Star Trek, The War of the Worlds, Thunderbirds, Close Encounters, Transformers, E.T., all the 1950s UFO movies and all the Planet of the Apes films, all the Transformer films, all the Alien films, Predator, all the Marvel films, the Star Wars movies, and then they're bringing out, what are they doing? A new film about Neil Armstrong.
I think that's been out. I haven't seen.
Oh, is it actually out?
I think it's actually.
Oh
out.
yeah, we'll have to see that. About just reinforcing that he definitely, you know, it's the same thing they did with McDonald's. They brought out a film about McDonald's, right? And they tried to make everyone believe that it just started as some like back end like burger shop that everyone thought, these burgers are fucking great. No, not at all. They basically formed an enormous great big corporation that served crap and just mass produced it and brought franchises out all over the world of that. And now everyone's stuffing it in their face. Yeah. But what they do is they bring a film out going, oh no, don't worry, it's got humble beginnings, humble roots. No, it fucking doesn't. If you actually sat down and wrote a list, you know, of all these different TV shows, films, adverts, possibly the moon landings, and James Bond's got a spacesuit, Action Man had the spacesuit, Buzz Lightyear, Toy Story. It's crazy. It's just endless. So perhaps, just perhaps, you might well be well programmed to believe that you can land on the moon. Yeah. Think about that. And I would love it to be true. I'd love to be able to say that, yeah, we've stepped foot somewhere else. Sorry, we ain't.
No.
Do you know what I mean? But yeah, so wrapping that up, I'll wrap that one up. Imagine right now, like, let's be honest, if a news broadcast, broad meaning wide, meaning preach to a wide audience, and cast meaning to cast a spell, so casting spells with your words, i.e. entrancing people and making them believe a certain thing and behave a certain way because of the words that are coming out of your mouth in their big broadcast, in their news broadcast. I just think I've forgotten what I'm talking about, mate. We have to edit that, innit?
Yeah.
You're not, are you?
Yeah. Well, maybe not now. Initially it was like guaranteed edit, now I'm thinking...
Yeah. No, can you remind me where it was, mate?
Oh no.
This is what the
Not
last time,
again.
that same sound.
Not again. That's what I was talking about, the broadcasting.
That's
is that,
right.
you know, if you were told imminently there is going to be an enormous great big earthquake and everyone's going to die and the ground's going to swallow you up, you'd shit your pants.
Yes.
Yeah? But because you're fearful of that. You'd shit your pants because the news is telling you that. Just like the news told our parents at the time when they were sat around the TV screen or around the radio frantically listening to whether Neil Armstrong and his band of fucking idiots had landed on the moon yet. Or not.
Biker mice from Mars.
Yeah,
that just
there's
popped into my head.
biker mice
Do you
from
remember
Mars.
that? That just
Biker-
popped into my head.
massive, enormous, great big jacked up rats on
Yeah.
trend on trikes,
Yeah.
blasting around, just spray painting everything.
Roided up rats from Mars.
Yeah, that's right. That's another thing I miss is massive action heroes.
He-Man, I grew up watching
He-Man. Yeah, He-Man was jacked. Action Man was jacked. Every professional wrestler was jacked. The Ultimate Warrior was jacked. That's the thing with bodybuilding, the bar has been lowered so much. Just like everything else, it's been lowered to the point where you can just get on stage with a mediocre physique and you don't even have to show your legs anymore because you've got massive, great big board shorts on and you've turned up with a quiff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, literally, they're judging you on your teeth
the hair
and
and
hair.
makeup, like-
Teeth and hair.
It's become like a
Do
beauty.
you know what I mean? I
fucking
don't know a
pageant.
bodybuilder with much hair at all, apart from on their backs. Now you're gonna now one of the credentials for winning the bodybuilding shows if you've got a nice haircut.
Yeah.
Fuck me. Scrawny jeans. You bowl on stage in a leather jacket with a butler's collar and cuffs on, and a tray with some champagne on it, and start parading around with your massive trend nose exposed for everyone
Yeah.
to see. Christ Almighty.
And that's just the females.
Yeah, absolutely. The bar's been lowered so much. Even like you look at the physiques in the WWE, most of these kids look like the cast of Grange Hill. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not, for me, that's not believable. Like, all these guys doing millions of backflips. When was the last time you went in the pub, right? Someone took offence to something you said and then backflipped.
The last time I smacked someone.
yeah, away from you. They never backflipped. I've never had anyone backflip towards me. I've had them bounce off.
Unless you get in a fight at a circus.
Right, yeah. But I mean, do you see what I'm saying? So how do you work with those guys? I'm 6'4" and 21 stone. How do I work with someone that just wants to no-sell everything and do backflips?
Yeah.
I've broken both my feet, my elbow, my wrist, all my fingers, most of my toes. I've torn 2 ligaments off my left foot. I've fractured my orbital socket. I've had concussions. I've smashed my jaw to pieces and had it completely re-pinned and pegged together and chained together. I've had it all. I've had it all. And I'm not someone that goes out there and does backflips.
You've basically
so think of the guys that are the ones that are going out there taking the extra risk of landing on your fucking bean every night.
They didn't build wrestling on that.
No, they didn't build it on that. Not at all. You look at all the guys that actually, you know, they work hard, so hard to tell a story with what they're doing. Because, you know, I can't go on auditions for things and they say, why do you think you'd be good for this role? I'm like, listen, mate, I have to tell a story without using words.
Although,
Yeah.
to be fair, it's always the same story. That geezer's pissed me off and I'm going to flatten him.
Generally, right.
I know
But
what you
you-
mean, though. Every match has a beginning, a middle and an end.
Absolutely, it's just like any other story. From the time you go through the curtain to the time you go back through the curtain. When I was working on the WOW TV tapings up in Norwich, at Epic Studios, we were like, Scott Hall, as Razor Ramon, was our agent, and he was dissecting our matches, and he gave me a move as well, which was amazing. I love that, and it was a massive honour to have someone, you know, dissect what you're doing, and he just basically picks you up every single time, so you can improve, but he's going to pick something else.
So did you watch wrestling when you was a kid? Like when did you?
I've watched it all my life, and I wanted to. I
What was
always
the youngest you watched it? Because I watched it obviously when I was like a teenager.
Like WrestleMania 6. Hogan and Warrior was my first. Like that was one of my favourite matches ever because of the emotion and the story behind it. It was like Greek mythology almost. The story. These two enormous, great big warriors clashing. They hadn't touched each other for a year previous.
That's the first time I ever saw it was in that era as well.
Yeah, and Warrior did that promo where he said, "You're going to take that plane in the nosedive, Hulk Hogan." Remember that? What the fuck's happened to my throat?
Warrior weren't totally mashed when he did it though, was he?
No, he wasn't. He might have been.
He probably was, but just on something else.
Yeah, just not on the down.
He's taking whatever those biker mics from Mars.
Yeah, the biker mics from Mars. Biker mics from Mars. What was it he said? He was like, "Get in the cockpit, Hulk Hogan."
That's right.
Grab the controls, Hulk Hogan. Remember that? Take it into a nosedive. Remember that? Yeah. And it was the first slow promo he'd ever done, because normally it was like, when the fucking stars from Mars and the fucking moons from Venus collide, the biggest thing in the fucking world is going to be coming running wild straight over your ass. Right? But it was like the first time he did like a real slow promo, and I remember that caught my eye. I was like, I love this guy, because he was, and the build up to the match was amazing. So for me, that was my favourite. Hi guys, have you landed on the moon? Do you know what I mean? Yeah, we've just landed, President. Like he's on the phone to his mum or something. Neil, it's time for dinner. Mum, I told you I was going to the moon. Not to call me on the landline. On the moon.
It's going to cost you lives.
Yeah, that's 400 quid a second. Don't worry guys, we'll pay it off soon enough. Gonna make you believe something and then tax you because of it. Fuck my life.
I know.
And then they're blaming me for the fucking ozone as well. Nice one. I haven't heard the word ozone since about 97. No, everyone was terrified of the ozone. Now they've forgotten about it. No one cares, but it should have already exploded by now. I was told at school, no more oil by 2015. Well, guess what? My car's full of oil right now. The Thames barrier is going to explode because a glaciers melted on the other side of the curve. Unbelievable. And if that ain't enough, cows are farting everywhere.
Yeah.
There's McDonald's have got fucking
farting
paper
cows
straws
causing shitloads of pollution.
in plastic cups.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, So if it wasn't for if you could stop cows farting and plastic straws from McDonald's, then you're going to save the universe. The universe. Wow.
Yeah.
Verse 1.
Where he tells you how he created the Earth. Do you reckon that's what it is?
I reckon it's probably a better timescale because it's crap. I reckon I could create it in 7 days myself. The way it's run at the moment, i.e.
I could create it myself.
I think I could. Honestly. Do you know what I mean?
He's had one too many.
If he had a rest on the
pile
7th
drivers to the
day,
head.
if he had a rest on the 7th day, he's obviously just chilling. If I really thought about it, I reckon I could make a much better world.
We was probably thinking I'll build it in 6 days. I'm going to be busy, so I'm just going to have 1 day of rest and then bang on it.
Yep.
Bit like having a cheat day. That was his cheat day, and then bang on the diet Monday.
Yeah. Back to
You
work.
had too much of a cheat day on Sunday and
Yeah.
fucked up Monday.
Yeah,
Never
he slept
carried
in.
on.
Yeah, he slept in on Monday because
Like me with my diet, literally just never carried on.
he went Papa John's the night before
With fake money.
with fake money, yeah, and had to sleep in.
Yeah. But no, we digress. Anyway, I'm glad I got those points out and off my chest. And I hope that I may well have influenced you, the listener, to put the popcorn down once in a while. So you don't have to go to your cinema, where you watch your sins, and then you're going to go and, once you've bought your cinema ticket, you're going to go and, I mean, don't get me wrong, I've done this, and I do. I'll go and buy the biggest, enormous, great big box of popcorn, trough I can get my hands on.
John picks the popcorn up.
Sit there with popcorn literally stuck all over me whilst I'm staring at the screen. My God. And we all do it. Everyone does it. So when you're watching the film in the cinema, I'm not saying don't enjoy the film. I'm just saying once in a while.
Don't eat popcorn.
I'm just saying once in a while, put the popcorn down. You don't have to be munching it all the time whilst you're staring gormlessly at the TV
What you're trying
screen.
to say is it's not literal, it's a metaphor. You're not actually angry
Just
at people
remember,
that eat
people,
popcorn.
there is right.
Put the fucking popcorn down.
right now.
Popcorn down. Put that
one's on.
popcorn down. So thank you very much for joining me on episode 1 of Put the Popcorn Down. We're going to talk about swords, armour, we're going to talk about wrestling, we're going to talk about training, we're going to talk bodybuilding, powerlifting, strongman, anything you want to talk about. But remember, the most important thing, we're going to put the popcorn down.